Welcome to the call, where we embark on a transformative journey designed specifically for men seeking success in every facet of life. Together we will hear stories of real men who have answered the call to growth, resilience, and purpose. It's time to step up, embrace your potential, and join a community of like-minded individuals committed to becoming the best versions of themselves. Welcome to the call. Good to see you, Dr. Scott. You're looking sharp. And
we look like we ought to be on vacation.
I'm excited. I've been looking forward to this every episode, every podcast. I just can't wait to get in here just to talk and share and inform people and hopefully get people as excited as we are. I'm more excited today than I haven't been in a while, and so we have got an agenda for this podcast. And if you can't tell by what we've got on here, of course Scott didn't wear his, and so but that's fine. He had his on the other day.
Yes.
And things have changed. Some things have changed. I've lost about 2 pounds in my facial area from the beard being cut, and so
that big beautiful beard that you had.
Listen, I went through, seriously, I mean at least a day and a half of beardless depression, not having the beard. I felt like Samson in the Bible when, Delilah, encouraged him to cut, or she cut his hair off. She really encouraged him to, while he was asleep. But I felt powerless the next day, the beard being gone. But I will say this, Scott, it will make a comeback, okay? It will make a comeback.
The beard is going to be back, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
I tell them, we've had a couple of, it's been like these special visitors. Stacy will come in and look around the corner, and I'm like, I have to do a double take because I'm not used to seeing him without the beard. I said, dude, it's taking a while. I'm having to get my eyes adjusted to you not being the bearded savage that you are.
Listen, and I've always said that I wanted to go, biblical about it, and I wanted it to be huge, like a prophet, from the Old Testament. So, but my wife was getting on me about it. She's like, she said, you look like a homeless Al Qaeda prophet that fell in a well for about 6 months, and and so somebody said, well, why did you cut it? And I was like, well, there's two reasons. My wife said she wasn't going to kiss me no more, and I was like, no, can't have that. So. That was one of the reasons, and I mean it has been piping hot here in Georgia. It's been insanely hot.
Yeah.
To the point where it would just the sweat would just be dripping off my beard underneath the shade tree, and then I had things living in there, growing in there, living rent free in my beard, and so it was time for them to move out. But it's just a summer cut. It will be back. And so
you look like you're ready to go on holiday.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the outfit, Scott.
Yeah.
We ordered these purposely. Scott got these outfits for us. He's got the same one. He wore his the other day to redo the boat. I mean,
I was trying to make a fashion statement, and it was so hot, man. It's just so hot. and for you guys, we need to give them a little feedback. Me and Stacy, it's been probably a week or so since we made a podcast, and everybody's like asking where the podcast was.
Yes.
Stacy and I were on a roll. I mean, an absolute. It was an epic roll. We had one of the best podcasts. We walked away from it thinking, man, that is probably one of the best podcasts that we have ever done. And I have a brand new camera that I got for Father's Day, and walked out of this thing, go to upload it, sitting there, and I was like, dude, something's wrong with this thing. I can't hear anybody talk. We forgot to turn the audio on. So we made this biblical podcast.
It was great.
Lots of fun to do it, and then realized that we didn't know how to operate the camera. So we've had to back up and punt, and this is a new one. We've actually got remote access. We're getting high tech, Stacy.
Really, we've come a long way from using the phone to now having this amazing camera that, like Scott said, his kids got him for Father's Day, and learning more about it and what we can do with it. Scott can control it from his phone.
Yeah.
And it's really nice, and so we're excited about the future for the call. And so a lot's been going on since that. But he said, we lay down an amazing.
So that
podcast.
whole podcast goes back to these outfits. So I had to tell the background story. So the thing that Stacy comes in and shows me something with this, I'm just going to say it, the El Capitan Hunt Club, right? that we want to be invited. So if there's anybody out there that can get us on the El Capitan dove hunt, we're I think we want to go. We bought an outfit for it. We bought hats for it. Stacy, I mean, I told him, I said, we look like we ought to have a mariachi band and have some margaritas or something up in here. It's that kind of party that's going on. But for us, you know, I was like, Stacy comes in, shows me this thing from the 247 hunt from last year, and they're showing this stuff, and I was like, dude, where is that? And I was like, oh, I want to go. And
well, that's what it was. You started researching it.
Yeah.
Because I had showed Scott these, the 247 guys had made a dove hat, and it was really cool, like you know, with a dove on it. And so Scott starts researching it. He's like, hey, he said, man, have you looked into this? And I was like, not really. He said, this is like, you know, Argentina and Texas. He said, all these doves. And he said, but you have to be on a guest list.
Yes.
It's not just for everybody. You have to be invited. And he said,
I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure out the invite. Somebody listening to this will know somebody, I hope, that will get me and Stacy. We want to be invited. Maybe I'm hoping, I'm putting it out there that, I have this thing. You put it out there and it'll come, right? So we're putting it out there. Somebody's going to hear it. Somebody that's probably a member of theirs is going to say, hey, man, have you seen these nuts that are on there that are promoting your stuff? Can we get them an invite for this? Because we would definitely show up. We would do a podcast from there.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
And I'll bring a whole skilled, whatever we need to bring there, we'll bring it. Coolers,
yes.
Excitement, entertainment. If you want us to play guitar, we'll play guitar for you. We'll do whatever it takes. And, we got Stacy, a couple of, it would be like a mariachi band. We'll bring him some of the little shakers. He'll be out there giving it to them left and right. He'll do whatever it takes to get on there too.
Yeah, that's our goal, and I mean Scott is avid about this. He wants to be on the invite list, and so we seen like Renard Moody and then Barton Ramsey of Southern Oak Kennels. I know he goes there. He's on the invite list, and so we just want to know what we've got to do, to be invited.
We're working left and right. We're tireless hours out here.
Yes.
Like I said, my shirt, I brought it in to show it to Stacy, so we had matching outfits. We look like the Bopsy twins. And I wore mine and I had been working on this duck boat. We got the stuff in from Monkey Skins, and we're going to start doing a video today. We're going to lay down.
Shout out to Monkey Skins.
Yes, shout out to Monkey Skins. This thing is going to look so sick. But the one thing that you have to do is you have to clean this thing. So
let's talk about that. I laugh so hard.
So I'm out there. You have to do this stuff, and if anybody's had an older boat, typically they come from their manufacturer with some kind of foam decking that's on there. So I had to get it up. So for 2 days, 4.5 hours on one day, 3.5 hours on the other, I spent with a vibration tool, hands and knees, in the hot Georgia sun, peeling this thing off, right?
Yeah.
And I get it down, and then I call Ryan at Monkey Skins, and he's like, man, but you need to have the deck really clean, and I suggested, what you need to do is you need to clean it, then you need to put acetone on it, clean it again, get it shop vac, get it up, clean it again, to make sure it's super clean, because you want this thing, you don't want any kind of residual stuff that will allow the adhesive to allow water to go under it. So I'm out there. I look like I'm building a meth lab. I'm at the Home Depot buying acetone, and it is Africa hot out here. It was like 107 with the heat index that day. I'm out there in the red shirt, and I got a mask on, and I am just overtaken by the acetone fumes. I told him I was so high from the acetone. I would have to do it in short waves. I'd go out for 10 or 20 minutes, do it, sweat it was just, I was like a Pentecostal minister on a bad revival, man. I was begging for relief out there. And they would come by and laugh. They were like, man, what are you doing out there, dude? I'm out here trying to get this stuff off. That's what I'm trying to do. He was like, well, why are you doing it in the sun? I was like, that's what they said. Put it out here because if it's hot, it'll come off easier. And I was like, man. And it took me all day long with this thing. And I have finally gotten it clean. The moral of the story is you keep sticking with it, do it in small increments, it'll eventually come.
Well, here's the funny part. Our offices in this studio is like downtown, our hometown here in Calhoun. It's downtown. So he's out there in front of everybody.
Yeah.
And he's got this mask on, and he's like it didn't help. I was breathing that stuff the whole time.
Well, it didn't seem to be bad until a few minutes later, and then all of a sudden I thought, man, I'm kind of lightheaded. I better stop here. And then I'm trying to sling it over the side, trying to fill the trailer to step off of it. And I was like, I called, Tanner was out there working in the outside, working and pulling weeds. He goes, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Dude, I think I'm high. I'm high from this thing. It has got me all messed up over here."
Yeah, he was talking to the pink flying monkeys and stuff, and so speaking of monkey skin, he was talking to the monkeys flying around.
Oh man, these guys, when we get this on here, like I said, we're going to put out a video. You know, we're doing short videos. I got a couple that I've got to upload from that Stacy's been doing on dog training, but we're also going to put one for you guys that are actually working on your boats, trying to get ready for duck season. Just to kind of let you know what's available, right? And I have to do an incredible shout out to the guys at Monkey Skins. They're in California. We'll put a link to how to get in touch with them. Ryan at Monkey Skins is a phenomenal guy. Helped me out. Did a lot of the layout. Came up with a lot of the design stuff. And we joke about it. We were sitting around here, and I was getting texts from California, and we'd send it to Stacy, and I'd send it to my son. I'd send it to other people in our hunting party and say, "Hey man, what do you think about this? Oh, that's cool. Do this, do that." And the cool thing is I even though it's my boat, okay, but I think that the boat is a collage of a lot of ideas from a lot of the guys that hunt with us, which makes it even cooler that we all had an input in it and everybody's checking it off and looking at it. And we are going to debut this thing this year. We are planning right now at being at basically the Sandbar Social in Nashville. We're coming. The call is coming to Nashville. We're bringing the group with us. We're going to be up there to raise money for St. Jude's Hospital, and we hope to debut the boat, let everybody see it. So that's going to be a cool thing.
That's going to be exciting. I'm excited about that. That's going to be really cool, just because the boat is. I mean, it's phenomenal. I mean, and we take pride in it because Scott has really, been a hands-on, done all this work himself on this boat, this build. And he's built it from scratch. Like he said, it's been a vision that we've all kind of collabed on, and it's going to be super cool. There's not going to be another one like it, and so we're excited to let it be seen. I ask him every day. I was like, "Man, you almost where you at? Where you at on the boat?" And so. But he's a one-man show. He's been doing it all himself, and
we got another build going on. My son's building one as well. So I mean, I hope that this will also be an informational channel so that people can ask questions. If we can save you aggravation and frustration, that was part of our deal. But we've got another boat that we've also been building as well. That we're also going to do another layout with monkey skins on the EVA foam. So I think that's going to be a cool thing. We're hoping that the other thing is we're going to put it out in the universe. We're going to win one of the two boats that are going to be given away at the Sandbar Social.
In Jesus' name, we're going to win.
And Stacy is going to be the miraculous preacher on the square with that thing. He is going to ride it up and down the river, full regalia, yelling.
Look what the Lord has done. The Lord has blessed us.
We're a big believer of putting stuff in the universe, so we're putting positive thoughts out there. The other thing is for you guys that are out there that may not be going to the social but want to participate, go out, and I highly recommend buy some tickets, right? It supports a great cause for St. Jude's Hospital if you guys are not on there. I mean, what you don't realize is all that hospital does is free, right? The money that's raised for it each year for all these kids with cancer and stuff like that, and the research that goes into it. I highly recommend doing it.
And here's the super cool thing about that, Scott, is the people that are putting this on is the Water Cowboys and Hipster Woodsman, and of course Prodigy Boats is one of the sponsors, and Havoc Boats is one of the sponsors. But it is a huge event. If you are a waterfowl guy, if you have a duck boat, I'm telling you, you want to be in Nashville for this. Go to Water Cowboys Instagram page or their Facebook page. You can find information about the Sandbar Social in Nashville. There's like 7 boat ramps that they're putting in the Nashville area, and so it's going to be huge. They have I think last year they had 200 or 300 boats out there, maybe more, but they do a lot of great giveaways. Like he said, it's for a great cause. Every bit of the proceeds go to St. Jude's Hospitals, and so. But the reason, Scott, that I'm excited about your boat is that it's helping people. Here's what we want to do for men. We want to say, okay, if you can't go, because some of these duck boats are like $40,000 to $50,000, and so if you can't go out there and buy or purchase a new duck boat. Now, Southern Mud boats out in Alabama, they have some good deals on boats, but if you wanted to go buy a boat, Scott bought this boat from a buddy, from a friend,
Yeah.
and basically it just needed to be overhauled and redone, and Scott has done it from scratch. And so if you are a man like us and you have a budget and you can't afford to go out and pay $40,000 or $30,000 for a duck boat, you know, you can do what Scott has done and what many of us have done. Go out and find you a hull.
Yeah.
Start with a hull, get you a motor, and you know, you can paint it, you can put the sea foam in there like Scott's doing, and the decking, and you know, get you a motor. You don't have to have, you know, I mean, he runs a Merc, I run a 1999 Yamaha that's been rebuilt. Scott's has been rebuilt. And board, I think he said board over.
Yeah,
to where
it's more like a 50 horsepower.
Yeah,
and we're joking about it now. My son's was, for you guys that are out there that are trying, you know, you're scraping pennies together. You're trying to get into the sport, which is already expensive. My son took one, did a little work for one of our buddies, and the guy gave him the boat. Right, he had another one. It sat up underneath the tree. So I mean, literally, this thing that had trees growing in it. And we basically gutted the inside of it. Took 2 days to clean it out. Got all the stuff in it, and then over the course of this year, we redid the electrical, redid the deck. Had a local guy basically fab the aluminum to go on it, which kind of was how do we want it to do, what do we think the purpose it would be, that kind of thing. So then it was acquiring a motor, and I always joke about it because Stacy and I were at church one day, and I was like, dude, I got one. I found one on Marketplace, right? So look at Marketplace, look at things out there on the forum, try to find something that's on there. Now, I don't know if the boat motor is going to be big enough. That's one of our big things. It's an old Evinrude, but I mean, it is a nicer one. So we're trying to give it from your, I guess, from our audience's viewpoint of how do you get into this, right?
Yeah.
And don't put it. I think sometimes when they throw it out there, oh man, they're just lucky they got a big boat or something like that. You can have those things, right? It's, if you are resourceful enough to look for it and do stuff. Sometimes maybe you don't have the money to it, but your time or effort, like my son, a guy gives him the boat, right?
Yeah.
And just to get it out of his yard, just because it was collecting water and debris. But you got to see the potential in what you've got also. What can you do? And little bit by little bit, you're going to form that thing into something that becomes a useful tool for you for hunting. Then what do? You flip it, you sell it, you go on to another one. It's one step of getting you down the road.
You grow too. You can, like we have a guy here in Calhoun who's done that with his. He started off with a John boat and turned it into a Dub boat, sold it, went and bought a little bit more expensive boat, and then flipped it, sold it, and now he's driving. He said what is his dream boat, which is a gator tail with a gator tail motor. But he did all that by flipping boats to where he got to the point where he could buy a boat that he wanted, that he'd been dreaming about for years. But he did that by flipping boats and then selling it for a little bit more profit than what he had in it. And so, I mean, that's just how you do it. And so
the question, though, I think I wanted to say this before. I didn't mean to interrupt Stacy.
No, you're good.
Stacy said a great thing right before we came on the air, and we were talking about this. Why do you want to buy a boat, right?
Yes,
if you live in a geographical area like Georgia, there's very limited places that you can, whether it be private or public, that you can hunt on. The boat opens you up to so many other areas to enjoy the sport that you would never be able to do if you didn't have a boat.
That's right.
And I think that was a great comment that he made, and I was like, dude, I just want to make sure we say that on to everybody that's out there. Because you look at that and you say, well, I spend X number of dollars for all the equipment, and then I can only go to a couple of places, and I'm limited. Why would I want to do that? Well, the boat is another part of it, but it also gives you trust me, it gives you an area of expertise and places to go to really get your skills honed in, and to give you another opportunity to shoot ducks on any given day.
And the thing is, like, do I have to have a boat? No, you don't have to have one, but I'm telling you, like Scott said, and we were talking about earlier, it opens up so many, more opportunities for you to hunt, or, I'll say this, if you hunt public land in Arkansas, you've got to have a boat. I mean, you cannot get to the holes that we hunt without a boat going down the White River, the Black River, in Stuttgart or northeast Arkansas, the Black River. You've got to have a boat. And so, and it's just the calling, it's the calling to that. And that's what makes this so fun is watching these boat builds, watching, hearing Scott, talk
my
about
struggles.
Yeah, and seeing him out there, high as a kite, breathing in those chemicals.
Acetone.
Yeah. And so, but also after all of that, seeing and hearing his excitement about, man, this thing, and seeing the vision, that's the whole call. The call in our life is always to have a vision. The Bible says where there's no vision, people perish. Yeah. And so that's true in life. That's true, in not just the church world, but in everything. If it wasn't for a vision, we wouldn't be where we're at today.
Oh, that's true.
And so, Scott's vision for this duck boat and the vision that we all had, collabing and put it in there, has made this story even more interesting and, fun just to be a part of, just to see.
And I think that's the part of everything, right? Is one thing that you haven't noticed is I think we all have a good time. That is, me and Stacy, sometimes maybe our excitement gets way ahead of us. We get to working on multiple tasks at one time and different things, but I get excited about it, right? I mean, we're talking about duck hunting, it ain't even duck hunting season. I'm super excited about it now.
Oh yeah.
And the other thing is building this thing and doing this is just like life, right? There's ups and downs, things that are on there, but you don't give up, right? You keep pushing forward, you keep going a part of it. Every step you go, the one thing that I can say, me and Stacey were talking about this the other day about starting this podcast, is amazing how many people that we have come in contact with in the last, 6 months?
Oh, yeah.
that I had never even known, right? That just because of this podcast and talking to them about it and being a part of it, that you get to know different people and it opens doors for different things that you would have never thought of in a million years. And and I always told him when we did this, I always wanted the ability to have fun and to change people's lives. That's really what we were looking for me to do this, is what I wanted to do.
Yeah, and I think that's what when it comes down to the call, it's crazy that our minds are almost on the same link. Because I was thinking the same thing, Scott. How many people that it's connected us to through this whole process with Muller chokes and Scott's been on the phone talking to every CEO and I think in the duck industry trying to to open
all
up
they
doors.
can say is no. That's my thing.
Yeah.
I love to be told no, because there's got to be a different way of doing it, or let's look at it from a different angle. We were laughing this weekend because I'm trying to get my buddy he's a really good friend of mine that you guys have mentioned that worked at Sika, and I'm like, hey man, can I get some promo stuff? And he's like, man, we don't really do anything for podcasters anymore, and that's not really our thing. And I was like, but I mean,